Yeah, well, I just undecided for you. So you got a full-time job right here in this house. You ain't putting in time in nobody's kitchen.
James, there is dignity in all work. It's not the kind of work you do.
Are you married?
No.
Then I can't have you.
So that taught me a lesson that I wasn't as important as I thought I was to the show or to Norman Lear's plans.
Do you remember the hit TV show Good Times? Ever wonder what happened to the stars who played J.J. Florida and the rest? Where are they now?
So we got along. We all, at different times, were on Broadway and in Broadway theater productions as child actors. And along with that, Lawrence Fishburne and I, we went to high school, we graduated.
Did their lives take surprising turns? Let's take a look at the cast back then and find out what's shocking now. Starting with Willona Woods.
You know Penny's friend Tina, age 13, is pregnant?
Willona Woods was one of the most loved characters on the TV show Good Times. She wasn't the main character, but she stood out as the fun, energetic neighbor of the Evans family. Willona was smart, strong-willed, and full of life. She was always ready to share some gossip or give advice. A single, divorced woman, Willona enjoyed her independence and lived life her own way. But everything changed when she adopted a young girl named Penny, making her a mother figure not just for Penny, but for the Evans family kids too.
She's going up too fast, asking questions.
Willona was played by actress Jeanette DuBois, whose real name was Jeanette. There's actually a bit of mystery around Jeanette's age. Some sources say she was born in 1932, others say 1938, and some even say 1945. Most people believe her birthday was on August 5th, but the exact year isn't clear. Jeanette DuBois made Willona feel like a real person. Her character was bold and caring, and fans loved how she looked out for the Evans kids, especially after Florida and James, the parents, left the show. When Penny, played by a young Janet Jackson, came into Willona's life, their connection became one of the best parts of the show. Penny's story was both heartwarming and sad. When she first appeared in season 5, she was a bubbly little girl hiding a dark secret. Willona discovered that Penny was being abused by her own mother. After a tough journey, Willona decided to adopt her, giving Penny the love and care she needed. It was a big change for Willona, who was used to living her life as a single woman. But becoming Penny's mom gave Willona's character a whole new purpose on the show. Fans admired how Willona stepped up, even though she was not Penny's biological mom, and this new bond between them helped save Good Times when the show needed a fresh start. Jeanette DuBois was a talented actress and singer. Even after Good Times ended, she continued to act and appeared on shows like The Love Boat, Home Improvement, ER, and the Wayans Bros. She was also a talented voice actor and won an Emmy for her work on Eddie Murphy's animated show, The PJs. One of her most famous accomplishments was writing and singing the theme song for The Jeffersons, another popular TV show. The song Moving On Up is still remembered today as a classic. Jeanette passed away in her sleep in 2020. After her passing, a surprising fact came out about her family background. Many believed her parents were Lillian G., her mother, and Gordon Adelbert DuBois, her father. But her death certificate revealed that her biological father might actually have been Cab Calloway, a famous jazz musician and actor. Cab Calloway was a legendary performer, known for his role in the classic 1980 movie Blues Brothers. This secret connection to Cab Calloway added a fascinating layer to Jeanette's life, especially since she was known for her own singing and musical talents.
What happened?
I fell. I always fall. My feet are all flat.
The show is known for its strong characters and realistic stories. One of the most loved characters was Florida Evans, played by Esther Rolle. Florida was the caring mother and main figure in the Evans family, bringing warmth and wisdom to the show. However, at the end of season 4, Rolle quit the show suddenly, leaving fans surprised and disappointed.
It's comforting to know there's still some respect for Black power around here.
Rolle's exit wasn't the only shock. Another main actor, John Amos, who played James Evans, had been fired at the end of the previous season. So with both Florida and James Evans gone, Good Times was at a critical point, missing 2 of its central characters. The show's creators needed a solution to keep the storyline going. They decided to make Willona Woods, played by Jeanette DuBois, the new mother figure on the show. But there was still something missing without a child in the house. Instead of creating a messy storyline where Willona would get married and have her own child, the writers decided to go with an adoption story. This is how the character Penny, a young girl adopted by Willona, was introduced. Penny, played by a very young Janet Jackson, added a fresh new element to the show. For Janet Jackson, Good Times was her first big acting role, and it helped her get noticed in the entertainment world. But while this role brought her fame, she didn't enjoy her time on the show. She was only 10 years old when she started, and she was going through a challenging time. Janet was beginning to develop physically, but the producers wanted her to look younger. To hide her changing body, the wardrobe crew wrapped her chest tightly with gauze to make her look smaller. This experience left her feeling embarrassed and uncomfortable. As if that wasn't enough, Janet was also told by the producers that she needed to lose weight. Hearing such comments as a young girl made her feel self-conscious about her body. Barely a teenager, Janet started having self-esteem and body image issues that she would struggle with throughout her life. Sadly, these early experiences left Janet battling depression and facing eating disorders. Though she eventually became a hugely successful singer, she always faced challenges in her personal life. At 18, Janet made headlines when she eloped with musician James DuBois. Rumors even spread that she and DuBois had a secret child, but Janet has always denied it, saying she would never hide a child from their father. Even today, DuBois' family believes that this secret child might exist, but Janet firmly says otherwise.
How could I keep a child from their father? I could never do that. That's not right.
Janet Jackson went on to marry 2 more times, but all her marriages ended in divorce. She had her first child, a son, in 2017 from her 3rd marriage. Despite all her personal troubles, Janet has built an incredible career and has an estimated net worth of $150 to $180 million. Now 58, Janet has left an unforgettable mark on both TV and music, but her journey has been far from easy. Then next is Ralph Carter.
Predicting the end of the world and asking for a dime for some wine so he can die happy.
Michael was the youngest of Florida, and James's 3 children played by Ralph Carter. Even though he was just a kid, he was very smart and had strong opinions about important issues like civil rights and social justice. He often talked about unfairness between black and white people. Because of this, his father called him militant, and his mother, Willona, nicknamed him Grumps. In the show, Michael was a bright student with dreams of becoming a lawyer. He cared a lot about his education. However, his strong opinions sometimes got him into trouble with his teachers. He wasn't afraid to speak up, even if it meant arguing with adults. One of his heroes was Crispus Attucks, a black man who died in the American Revolution while fighting for freedom. Carter was born in 1961, just 2 years older than Michael was in the show. Good Times first aired when Carter was 11 years old. The character of Michael was based on Mike Evans, one of the show's creators. Before Ralph Carter got the role of Michael, the producers considered casting Lawrence Fishburne or another young Broadway actor, Haywood Nelson. Interestingly, Haywood would later star in another show created by Mike Evans called What's Happening? Today, all 3 men, Ralph Carter, Lawrence Fishburne, and Haywood Nelson, are still good friends. In the early seasons of the show, most of the funny lines and jokes about black communities were given to Michael. The show's producer, Norman Lear, was known for tackling serious topics like politics and race. However, he thought it was better to have a child deliver those lines. They believed it would come across as more innocent and funny. Unfortunately, when Good Times ended, Ralph Carter's acting career took a turn. He found it hard to get acting jobs and mostly earned money by singing in nightclubs. Over the years, he became less visible in the entertainment world. There were many false rumors about him during this time. Some said he was gay, had AIDS, or had even died. However, these stories were not true. Ralph Carter is very much alive and well at the age of 63. Regarding the rumors about his sexuality, Ralph Carter has 2 children from his first marriage and 3 more from his second marriage. He has been happily married since 1994. Despite stepping out of the spotlight, he has built a loving family and remains a part of Hollywood history as the boy who played Michael Evans. Next is Nathan Bookman.
I'm a married man. I shouldn't be fooling around like this.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Nathan Bookman, played by Johnny Brown, was a memorable character on the classic TV show. He was the funny but tricky superintendent of the housing project where the Evans family lived. When Nathan first appeared, he was just a recurring character. Right from the start, there were tensions between him and the Evans family. By season 4, he became a permanent character on the show. As the series went on, Nathan became less of a bad guy and started showing some good traits. Still, he was often seen as an outsider. The other characters teased him about his weight and slow wit. Nathan was always trying to be on the winning side, but in the end, it seemed like he could never quite win or lose. Nathan Bookman was born on April 30th, 1937. This means he was about 38 years old when he first appeared on Good Times. Johnny Brown, the actor who played him, was born just a few weeks later on June 11th, 1937, making them almost the same age. In the early episodes, the relationship between Nathan and Willona, a character on the show, was particularly funny and often angry. Willona often called Nathan names like Buffalo Butt and Booger. In fact, Good Times was the first TV show to use the word booger, which was quite a big deal.
Like I told you, in a building full of lonely women.
Ain't nobody that lonely, honey.
After Good Times, Johnny Brown had a successful acting career. He appeared in many popular shows, including Archie Bunker's Place, The Jeffersons, Fantasy Island, Family Matters, The Jamie Foxx Show, and Everybody Hates Chris. He was loved for his humor and talent. Sadly, Johnny Brown passed away on March 2nd, 2022, at the age of 84. He left behind a loving family, including his wife of 61 years and 2 children. Nathan Bookman may have been a funny and sometimes annoying character, but he added a lot of heart to Good Times. Fans remember him for his unique personality and the laughter he brought to the show. Next up is James Evans.
Yeah, well, I just undecided for you. So you got a full-time job right here in this house. You ain't putting in time in nobody's kitchen.
James Evans Sr. is a character that many people remember from the classic TV show Good Times. He was a loving father and husband, but also a strict one. James represented what many saw as the typical black father of his time. He faced many challenges in life, growing up poor and dropping out of school after 6th grade. As an adult, he struggled to find good work, often working 2 jobs just to provide for his family. His famous line, "You want to know how we getting by? That's how we getting by, baby," showed his dedication and hard work. James Evans was born on May 6, 1932, which means he was around 42 years old when Good Times began. However, the actor who played him, John Amos, was born on December 27, 1939, making him about 7 years younger than the character he portrayed. When Good Times started, the creators had no plans for James Evans. It was actually actress Esther Rolle, who played Florida Evans, who insisted that her character have a husband. So James was brought in as a main character.
And hollering, and you do suffer from these headaches, and they are symptoms of hypertension.
Now, who's upset and hollering?
Unfortunately, behind-the-scenes issues caused problems. John Amos had many disagreements with the writers about how the show portrayed black families. He felt that the writers, who were mostly white, didn't understand how a black father should act. He once said, "I felt like I knew more about what a black family should be and how a black father would act than our writers." His frustrations grew when he noticed that the character JJ, played by Jimmy Walker, was getting most of the attention. Amos believed there was too much focus on JJ's silly antics instead of highlighting the dreams of his other children.
I wasn't the most diplomatic guy, like I said, in those days, and they got tired of having their lives threatened over jokes, so they said to take.
The tensions reached a breaking point. Amos was known for having a strong temper, and he sometimes threatened the writers over their decisions. Show creator Norman Lear eventually had to choose between Amos and his writers. He chose to keep the writers, leading to Amos's firing. They decided to kill off James's character in a car accident while he was on his way to Mississippi, hoping to build a better life for his family. The emotional announcement of James's death was a pivotal moment in the show, leading to a famous scene where Florida broke down and cried, saying, "Damn, damn, damn." After leaving Good Times, John Amos continued to act. He appeared in popular shows and movies like Coming to America, All About the Andersons, and The West Wing. Beyond acting, Amos also served in the New Jersey National Guard and holds the title of Honorary Master Chief in the United States Coast Guard. Amos has been married twice and has 2 children from his first wife, artist and equestrian Noel Mickelson. They were married from 1965 to 1975. His second marriage to actress Lillian Lehman lasted just a year, from 1978 to 1979. In 2023, Amos faced some family drama when his daughter Shannon accused her brother of abusing their father. Amos publicly denied the claims, and a police investigation found no evidence to support them. Amos died of congestive heart failure at a hospital in Inglewood, California on August 21, 2024, at the age of 84. His death was not announced until October 1, 2024. His daughter Shannon was unaware that he had died until it was reported by the media. His remains were cremated 9 days after his death.
And look at this outfit. Now, I know you have flipped now.
I flip.
Thelma Evans, played by Bernadette Stannis, is a beloved character from the classic TV show Good Times. Born on December 22, 1953, Bernadette took on the role of Thelma when she was 20 years old. This was 4 years older than Thelma's character, who was only 16 when the show began. Thelma was the middle child and the only daughter in her family. Her parents, Florida and James Evans, loved her dearly. James often called her baby girl, showing just how much he adored her. Thelma was a true daddy's girl, and their bond was special. However, Thelma was not just sweet and lovable. She was also fierce and strong. She knew how to stand up for herself, especially when it came to her older brother, JJ. Their relationship was a mix of love and rivalry, filled with both fun and arguments.
JJ, are you crazy? This is the 3rd time you pulled a stunt like that since Ma's been away.
One of Thelma's most interesting traits was her curiosity about boys. She often brought home boyfriends and even had several fiancés. This made her character relatable to many young viewers. Thelma was not just about dating, she had big dreams too. She wanted to become a surgeon and believed that if she got good grades, she could get into a top university. Her ambition showed that she was smart and had goals for her future. In Good Times, there was a funny twist with the age of the characters. While Thelma's father was supposed to be about 22 years older than her in the show, in real life, Amos, Thelma's dad, was only 14 years older than Bernadette. This added some humor behind the scenes. In one memorable episode of Season 2, Thelma brought home a boyfriend named Donald Knight, played by the talented Louis Gossett Jr. However, just a year later, the same actor returned to the show as Thelma's uncle Wilbert. This was a strange twist, but it happened because the producers were considering replacing Amos with another father figure. Despite the changes, both Amos and Gossett continued to have successful careers. They even appeared together in the famous miniseries Roots in 1977, which showed their talent as actors. After Good Times, Bernadette Stannis kept working in the acting world. She made guest appearances on popular shows like The Love Boat, The Cosby Show, and The Wayans Bros. More recently, she starred in 10 episodes of The Family Business as a character named Duncan. In addition to her TV roles, Bernadette has several movie credits, proving her versatility as an actress.
It's good to see all of you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. To family business.
To family business.
One of Bernadette's proudest achievements is that she is a published author. She has shared her stories and experiences through her writing, showing her creative side beyond acting. In her personal life, Bernadette has been married 4 times. She has 1 child from her 3rd marriage and another child with her current husband, Kevin Fontana. As of now, Bernadette Stannis is 70 years old. She has had a rich life filled with love, ambition, and talent. One of the show's most memorable characters was J.J. Evans Jr., known to his fans as Kid Dynamite. His real name was James Evans Jr., but fans just called him J.J. Evans Jr. was the oldest child of the Evans family, and he had 2 younger siblings. J.J. was a gifted artist, but not the best student. He struggled in school and lacked drive or ambition to work hard. But what J.J. lacked in school skills, he made up for with his comedy. He was the family clown and brought lots of laughs to Good Times. His quick jokes, wild behavior, and famous catchphrase, Dynamite, made him a hit with viewers. He even had nicknames like Kid Dynamite and Casanova of the Ghetto. JJ's silly and carefree nature often led to arguments with his younger sister, driving his parents a bit crazy.
Bathroom.
Well, you was in there so long, when you came back, the hotel was condemned.
JJ was played by comedian Jimmy Walker, whose real name is James Carter Walker Jr. Even though JJ was a teenager on the show, Jimmy was much older in real life. When Good Times started in 1974, JJ was supposed to be 17, but Jimmy was actually 27. He was born on June 25th, 1947, making him 10 years older than his character. Before joining Good Times, Jimmy was a stand-up comedian with no acting experience. Show creator Norman Lear had to beg him to take acting classes, but Jimmy refused. He felt comfortable in his role as JJ, even without formal training.
But the good thing you're 18, now you can be a fool legally.
This difference in opinion caused tension on set. Jimmy Walker revealed in interviews that he never really got along with Esther Rolle and John Amos. They were professional on set, but they weren't friends. In fact, when Esther Rolle passed away in 1998, Jimmy was the only cast member who didn't attend her funeral. Despite the conflicts, Jimmy Walker defended his character. He said that even though JJ was funny and often got into trouble, he still had a good heart and strong values. Jimmy Walker is 77 years old. He has never been married and has no children. Esther Elizabeth Rolle was born on November 8, 1920, and became a famous American actress known for her warm, powerful personality. Many people remember her for playing Florida Evans, the caring mother on TV shows Maude and Good Times. She played Florida as a strong, loving mother who always worked hard for her family. Esther's role was special because it showed a black family dealing with real struggles, which wasn't often shown on TV at that time. People admired her because she made Florida feel like a real person, not just a character. Esther grew up in a big family in Florida. She was one of 18 children, so she knew a lot about family life and hard work. Her parents were immigrants from the Bahamas, and they raised their children to be proud and strong. This background helped Esther bring a real, authentic feel to her role as Florida. She wanted her character to be an example of a strong, loving mother who stood up for what she believed. Even though Good Times was a popular show, Esther had strong opinions about it. She felt that the show sometimes focused too much on humor and didn't show enough of the real issues black families faced. Esther spoke up about this and even left the show for a short time because she wanted Florida's character to stay meaningful and honest. Esther Rolle passed away on November 17, 1998, but her work and impact live on. People still remember her as a woman who brought warmth, strength, and realness to television.